Right, it is 6 o'clock. I would like to officially call this meeting to order. Before I do that, I will take a roll call. Councilman Goldsmith?
Before I start the roll call, I'd like to get acknowledgement of the fact, today is your birthday.
It is my birthday.
39 for the sixth time.
Oh, thank you so much. I think,
Now, last Friday, it was my birthday, and she had the crowd sing to me. I won't embarrass you that way.
okay, thank you.
But I would like maybe just get a round of applause for the mayor for her birthday. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you,
And I'm present.
thank you. Yes, you are present. Councilman Trollinger,
Present.
Councilwoman Bryant Ward. Present. Councilman Jenkins.
Present.
And Mayor James, I am here. If you all would please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Well, I would like to think that everyone was here because it was my birthday. Hearing. Mr. Town Clerk, would you please review the procedures for this evening's hearing?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Town of La Plata public hearings will be conducted in the following manner. At the discretion of the mayor, speakers' comments may be limited to 3 minutes. If you're joining the public hearing virtually and wish to speak for the record, you must announce your name when joining the meeting and state that you intend to speak during the hearing in the comment section. Keep your phone audio muted until called to speak. If you are attending in person, a sign-in sheet is provided at the entrance of the council chambers, and you should indicate that you wish to speak. The town clerk will add your name to the speakers list. Registration to speak will end when the public hearing is opened. Written documents for the record should have been emailed to the town clerk, who will have them presented to the mayor prior to the opening of the hearing. At the conclusion of this public hearing, if the record is held open and you have questions or would like to submit written documents for the record, please contact the town clerk prior to the close of the record by phone 301-960-3507, by fax 301-934-3965, by post at the Town of La Plata, attention Town Clerk, 305 Queen Anne Street, La Plata, Maryland, 20646, or email legislative@townoflaplata.org.
Thank you, Mr. Town Clerk. I would like to officially call this public hearing to order at 6:02 p.m. Mr. Town Clerk, has the notice of the public hearing been properly advertised?
Yes. For the record, the rescheduled public hearing was advertised in the Southern Maryland newspaper in the July 1, 2022, as the affidavit of the town clerk and related certificates of publication will reflect. Additionally, signs were reposted on proposed annexation site. The affidavits are attached to the agenda.
Thank you. I'd like to call down Director Harrington for her staff report, please.
Right, hopefully you can hear me.
Yes, thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I will do a brief overview of my staff report. Hopefully everyone had a chance to look at that. The existing zoning for the property is rural residential and community commercial under the Charles County zoning category. They are proposing neighborhood commercial mixed use. Right now, the property is vacant and they are proposing mixed use development. The property is about 53 acres in size. To the north is rural residential, Charles County, and the possibility of the hub property. To the south is rural residential and R21, which is Charles County and the Quailwood subdivision within the town. To the east is rural residential and R21, Charles County land and the Jamestown subdivision in the town. And to the west is rural conservation under Charles County. For background for the property, the applicant submitted an application for an annexation petition on review. On March 1st, 2022, staff was informed that we did have an outdated concept plan attached to our agenda for the Planning Commission, And we rescheduled that and presented at the March 15th, 2022 Town Council work session. The annexation then went before the Planning Commission on April 5th of 2022 and received a recommendation for the NCX zoning category by the Planning Commission. The annexation petition was sent to Charles County Government and the Maryland Department of Planning on June 16th for the required 30-day review, which accounts for the postponement to tonight. For the proposed development, mixed-use community with approximately 58 townhomes, 142 single-family dwellings, and there are pad sites for approximately 32,000 square feet of commercial space fronting on Hawthorne Road. The project will incorporate open space and recreation amenities, including a clubhouse and pickleball courts. Screening and buffer yards will be provided along the exterior property boundaries in accordance with the town code. Access to the site will be provided from Hawthorne Road and along Quailwood Parkway. Staff did review the project in compliance with the comprehensive master plan, which was adopted in 2020, and found that the neighborhood commercial mixed-use zone was in compliance with the future land use map, as it is shown on that future land use map. As noted, the Planning Commission moved to recommend NCX zoning designation in accordance with the 2020 comprehensive plan. On July 12th, staff received comments from the Maryland Department of Planning. We received similar comments to the hub, one noting that the town zoning category of NCX is significantly different than the rural residential and community commercial within the Charles County zoning designation, and therefore a waiver would be required. Number two, the proposed annexation is currently not in a water and sewer category that is compliant with the priority funding area. So the Maryland Department of Planning recommends that the applicant seek a waiver from Charles County prior to annexation if they want to allow the development to be annexed within, or to be developed within the next 5 years. They noted that the Charles County 2021 draft comprehensive water and sewer plan should be amended for the corrected water category to be S3W3 for plan service. And then in its review, they did note that between the hub and the Hawthorne Yards annexation, there was a potential for an enclave. I know that that is currently being resolved between the town attorney and the applicants. Charles County Government held a public hearing on July 12th to review the annexation petition, and a few notes from that meeting is that the proposed annexation falls within the anticipated town's designated growth area and within the county's comprehensive plan growth area. The land use category for most of the property is commercial and business district, along with suburban large lot development currently under the county zoning. This would resolve the issue of the enclave created by the hub. And number four, the property would require a waiver for the 5-year rule based on section 4-416 of the annotated code of Maryland. The commissioners did provide a letter, which is attached to the agenda. So in conclusion, the property or proposed annexation petition is in compliance with the 2020 comprehensive plan. The Planning Commission has recommended the NCX zoning designation. I've also noted the uses that would be allowed under the RR, Rural Residential Zoning District, and the commercial, community commercial zoning district for the Charles County zoning. The town's NCX zone permits light industrial or light agricultural, single-family detached and attached to multifamily residential, similar uses. Overall, the densities are just a bit different. The NCX zone is intended to provide a range and variety of residential and non-residential uses. The property can be developed under the Charles County regulations as it exists today, or if annexed, it will be subject to the town's regulatory codes.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I would like to call down the applicant and the team here.
Guess this is mobile, isn't it? Good evening, Madam Mayor, Town Council. My name is Steve Scott. I'm the attorney for the applicant. With me tonight, Mark Guadagnoli, who is with the ownership group Hawthorne Development LLC, Stacy Lagana with Lorenzi Dodd and Ganell, and I think, and I hope we have virtually Mike Linhart with Linhart Traffic Consulting and Rob Sell with, just drew a blank, McCrone, thank you. Can I just make sure Rob and Mike are with us if you'll indulge me for just a moment? Rob and Mike, are you there?
We don't see
Just
anybody on.
want to make sure they're ready when we're ready. Okay, we're going to go ahead and proceed and hope our traffic engineer and our water sewer engineer join us. Curious that nobody's logged in.
Okay.
Okay. We'll do our best. So we've got an awful lot of information to provide to you this evening. If the council and mayor will remember, we've been in front of you before with this proposal for various work sessions. This is a project we've been working on for a number of years. In fact, it was originally proposed when the ownership group acquired the property maybe 10 years ago or more. At the time, the zoning ordinance of the town didn't really have a zoning category that would accommodate a mixed-use annexation. That sense was corrected with the revision of the zoning ordinance in 2018. So, of course, the purpose of tonight is to consider the annexation of this 53 some odd acres into the town of La Plata under the existing 2018 zoning ordinance. And in connection with that, to change the zoning from its current designation within the county of CC and RR, which is community commercial and rural, excuse me, I'm losing my voice, community commercial and rural residential, and to make that zoning one zoning category in the town if the town sees fit to annex this property in the NCX zone, as is shown in the in the applications. So we've got a PowerPoint for you, and hopefully we've arranged this in a way that is coherent. As I said, there's a lot of information for us to try and get across to you and to the public tonight. We're going to talk about annexation. We're going to talk about the comprehensive plan of the town and the county. We're going to talk about transportation and traffic issues, zoning and conceptual land use issues, water sewer issues, and proffers and things such as smart growth and density. So with that also, if you have any questions as we're proceeding through this PowerPoint, please just let us know and we'll do our best to respond. I think I'll turn it over to Mr. Guadagnoli now to begin our PowerPoint presentation.
Good evening, council members. Mark Guadagnoli, Hawthorne Development. And I'd like to first just go over the current zone and then take you through a brief history of the project to outline the planning process and the outreach efforts with the neighboring communities. Currently, the current Charles County zoning is CC and RR, as mentioned by staff. And the CC zone is significantly more permissible and up to 85% impervious allowance on that zone, which allows much more density than the requested NCX zone within the town. The original development intent was to include an American Legion Hall and house their new location. And we began contract negotiations with them as part of that relocation. And that zone was I think it was actually created for them years ago in the county. But during part of the study and the analysis, it was determined by the Legion that they would be better suited to use the funds from the purchase of the property to renovate their hall in their existing space. And they did that quite some time ago. And it was more economical for them to do so. The town currently borders the property on two sides. It is adjacent to Quailwood and Jamestown. and Quailwood Parkway and Hawthorne Road on the north and west side. Yeah, it was slide 13. We're going to go back to slide 1 and 2 now, if we can. Slide 1. Okay. Let me go back here. The original concept was more in line with the county zone of CC. Highly developed and was more in line with the medical campus, medical and retail office with some residential component, but highly developed. And at the time, that was not far after a lot of the redevelopment started occurring after the tornado back in 2002. And that was, several years after. But we steered away from that plan, and we did keep the medical component for a couple variations of the concept evaluations. And are you able to get those up?
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Let's hold up for just a second.
Okay.
I think then everybody can see what we're talking about.
Yeah.
While we're waiting, you were explaining CC and RR of the county. Can you just explain that a little bit more about what their density is while they're getting that up so we can have that difference?
I'm not